Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Based on African Motives. In this platform we are given the question paper from the past exam paper of June 2019, that is 2019, paper 2. So we shall just try to work around the question paper and see how we are supposed to answer this question paper. The questions are from this question paper. So if you're new to my channel, you can consider subscribing so that you won't miss any of the classes that we shall be working on revisions and so forth. So there we just need to know the instructions and the information when you are answering these question papers. Okay, so quickly rushing into this question paper, we are given the first question, that is section A, which is carrying 52 marks. Guys, take note, this is 52 marks. Okay, write down the next term in the given sequence. That is the sequence below, that is the sequence that you are given. So you're asked to write the next term. So in this case, I just want us to simplify this direct. I just want us to simplify this direct here. What are we given? We have 1 over 3. I want us to see what is happening. This is 1 over 3. This is 2 over 4. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So which means we shall have 5. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, which means this is going to be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need the next term, 3, 4. So guys, you have to just study that pattern that you are given. Okay, so you just need to study the pattern that you are given. Okay, express 10 as a sum of two different prime numbers. As a sum of two different prime numbers. So we want to express the number which is 10 as a sum of two different prime numbers. Okay, so the prime numbers, we are talking about numbers which are exactly divisible by 1 and itself, which is something like this. These are the prime numbers that we are talking about. So from these prime numbers, which two prime numbers that we can add to obtain 10? So as you can see, we have 3 and 7. So which means 10 is equal to 3 plus 7. We need prime numbers only. That is the instruction that we are given from this question paper. Okay, then increase $100 by 12%. Increase $105 by 12%. Okay, this is we are given $205. Okay, which is to be increased, this is 105, not 205, okay, which is to be increased by what? By 12%. So if we are to increase by 12%, there are two ways that we can actually answer or attempt this question. Okay, the first part is to find 12% of this value, then we add, because it's an increase. Okay, so it's going to be 12%, which is 12 over 100 multiplied by $105. Okay, so you're just going to simplify this direct. 12 over, this is paper 2, remember. So we have 12 over 100 multiplied by 105, like this. So we are going to obtain this as a decimal, which is 12.6. Okay, but we are referring to money here, so it's going to be $12.60. So this is 12% of this value. But if you are to increase, which means we have to add. So we are going to add this value to the what? To the 105 that we are given. So $105 plus 12 is going to be 12.60, like this, which is 0.00. So we are going to add this. So we are going to obtain 60, that's 5 and 2, which is 7, 0 and 1, which is 1, 1, like this. So this is going to be $117.60. That is the increase. So for increase, guys, this is just direct a question, or you can just say for this $105 that I want to increase, when it is $105 like this, it means it is directly at 100%. So if I am to increase this by 12%, which means from this 100% I'm going to add 12%. So this amount is now at 112%. So at 112%, what is going to be the equivalent amount that corresponds to this amount when it is increased in terms of percentage? So it's going to be 112 over 100 multiplied by $105. So in this case, we are actually finding the direct amount or the exact amount after the increase. So it's 112 over 100 multiplied by 105. So if you multiply by 105 like this, you are going to obtain this exact amount that we obtained, which is 117.6. Okay, so this is going to be $117.60, like that. That is the amount. So as you can see, an increase, guys, in terms of percentage, you can simply add, which means if it is a decrease, you're going to subtract, or you can determine the percentage part of the equation, then you add or subtract depending with the question, that is it an increase or it's a decrease. Okay, so that's what we had in this case. Let's see the other question. You are given Chipo and Tendai and Chipo share $105 in the ratio of 4:3 in that order. Find Tendai's share and Chipo's share. Okay, so they are sharing $105 in the ratio of 4:3. Okay, so this is item 2. Okay, so we have the amount that is being shared here, which is $105. This is the amount being shared in the ratio of 4:3. So the ratio is as the way that they are given in that order, which is Tendai and Chipo. So this is for Tendai, this is for Chipo. So the question is, take note about the question, guys. Find Tendai's share and Chipo's share, which means we want to find the shares according to the ratio that is used. What is their corresponding amounts? Okay, so Tendai, according to amount in this case, is 4. So we're going to have 4 over the total of the ratios, which is going to be equal to the total of the amount. So 4 plus 3, which is 7, times the total of the amount, which is $105. Okay, so this is for Tendai. So you can just use your calculator in this case to obtain this amount, 4 over 7 times 105, because this is paper 2, guys. For your 4 over 7 times 105, because you might come out of the exam without even using this calculator. So when you have a chance to use it, you have to apply it. So you're going to obtain $60. So Tendai is going to have $60. What about this part of Chipo? So you can subtract this from 105, or you can just use the ratio of 3. So it's going to be 3 over 7 times $105, again, just like what we did in the previous part. So if this is 3, we just have to do this, just put a 3 there. Okay, so it's going to be $45. So like I said, you could have obtained this using the concept that the total of these two should give us 105. So if you are given 105 and you have the amount of 1, you can subtract this amount to obtain the amount of the other one. Okay, so this is what we were asked to do, to just find these amounts. So it's direct like that. Okay, the other question is that given that sine theta is equal to cos 45 degrees, find 2 possible values of theta in the range that you are given. Okay, what are the 2 possible values of theta if okay, let me explain this. Like, sine theta is equivalent to cos 40 degrees. This question, guys, is actually taken from the core functions. These are referred as core functions, where we have a relationship between the acute angle and the obtuse angle. What is this relationship? If cos 40 degrees is an acute angle, this cos 40 degrees that you're talking about is an acute angle. The relationship between these two is that sine, if you are given sine theta, it is going to be equivalent to cos 90 minus theta, like this. Okay, which is the same thing if you are given cos theta is going to be sine 90 minus theta, like this. So using this relationship, we can obtain the equivalent of this angle, which is what? Which is of 40 degrees. So which is going to be the equivalent angle of theta now when it is referred back to sine. So as you can see, cos theta is equivalent to sine 90 minus theta, which is theta is 40 degrees. So which means this cos 40 degrees that we are talking about is equivalent to sine 90 minus 40. Okay, of which 90 minus 40 is going to give us what? Is going to give us 50 degrees. So this 50 degrees is the theta that we are talking about in this case. So our theta is going to be equal to 50 degrees. But we are being asked to find two possible values of theta. Two possible values of theta. So where are we going to have another theta in this case? Where are we going to obtain another angle which is equivalent to this angle of 50 degrees? Okay, if you cross-check, this part is actually issue of quadrants, guys. From the quadrants, when you are given an angle of 50 degrees like this, let's say this is 50 degrees. This angle is the same as the angle that we are going to have here, or 50 degrees. So this angle is 180 minus 50 degrees, which is 130 degrees. So what happens with the sine is that the sine of an acute angle is actually equal to the sine of the obtuse angle. Sine of the obtuse angle. So what do I mean in this case? If I am given an acute angle like this is an acute angle of let's say 60 degrees. An acute angle and an obtuse angle, they lie on a straight line. So if this angle is 60, from 180, this angle is going to be 120 degrees. So sine 60 degrees, this is what we are referring, which is the acute angle, is equal to sine obtuse, which is this obtuse angle, which is 120 degrees. These two, they are equal. So now if these two are equal, we can relate back to our sine that we talked about here. We are given sine 50 degrees. This is the one that helped us to obtain the value of theta, which is 50 degrees. So what is the acute angle? If this is the acute angle, then what is the obtuse angle that lies on a straight line with the 50 degrees? If this is 50 degrees, therefore this angle is 130 degrees, which is 180 minus 50, it's 130. Just like this part that we obtained from this quadrant, that this is 50, so this is going to be 130 degrees. So it means this sine 50 degrees is equal to the sine of the obtuse angle, which is sine 130 degrees. So if we are saying that sine 50 degrees like this is equal to sine 130 degrees, what does this mean? It means this theta of 50 degrees is also equal to 130 degrees. These two, they are equal. So this is the other angle that you're going to have. If theta is 50 degrees, another theta is going to be 130 degrees. So these are the two possible values when you are working with trig. So this part I have put much explanation because cross-checking along the work that we have done before, I haven't talked about this in separate video. So we are going to at least work this on a separate platform as a topic on itself, so that you can actually understand what's happening here, because it's a matter of understanding the basic of the topic. If you understand the basic, all this working that we are talking about were not even necessary, because you would know the stages which are necessary. Okay, but that's what we had from that question. Let's see another part here. We are given, this time we are given a triangle, which is a right angle triangle. In fact, it's a right angle triangle, this one. And then the diagram ABC is a triangle or in which AP is perpendicular to BC. So AP is perpendicular to BC, which means this also is 90 degrees because this is a straight line. Then we are given 9, 4, 37, and 42. So the first question is to calculate AP, which is this part here, this length AP. So I want you to see that if you separate this triangle, there are two triangles there. If you separate this triangle like this, this is our A, this is our P. There's a 90 degrees here, there's an angle of 37 degrees here, there is B, and there is also 9, 4. We separated this triangle here. This is the triangle that you're working with. Because that's where I have a part with a side. In this part, there is only one angle, so there's nothing I can do. When you're given one angle, there's nothing that you can do. So let's ignore this triangle for the meantime. So what can we do in this case? How can we use this triangle to calculate the value of AP? So we are now back to trigonometrical ratios. Why? We are in a right angle triangle where we are given a certain angle. So we have to apply the trigonometry, which is the trigonometrical ratio. So according to this theta, this side AP that we want to calculate is the opposite. And the one that we are given here is the hypotenuse. So given these two, we must formulate the trig that has the opposite and the hypotenuse at the same time. So from SOHCAHTOA, some they use CHASHU-TAO. So you just use whatever that you want. So you have SOHCAHTOA like this. So which part that has opposite and hypotenuse at the same time? This one is for sine, where we know that sine theta is equivalent opposite over hypotenuse. So sine theta is the angle that you are given, which is 37. So we have sine 37 degrees, which is equal to the opposite, which is this AP that we want to calculate, over the hypotenuse, which is the one that we are given of 9, 4. So we can actually cross multiply in this case to find AP, cross multiply. So that means 1 times AP, that's AP is equal to 9, 4 times sine 37, it's 9, 4 sine 37 degrees. So they know that you are in paper 2, so you can simplify this from your calculator. 9, 4 sine 37, make sure sine 37, yes, sine 37. So we have, make sure your calculator is in degrees, there's a D there. So it's 9, 4 sine 37 degrees. Okay, so you're going to obtain 5,657. So mostly our answers, you're supposed to leave to three significant figures. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 7. It's going to change this 5 into 6. So it's going to be 5,66. So we are going to have 5,66, which is the units here, they are in centimeters. So that is the length of AP, which is from the given dimensions here. Our AP is 5,66. So this is 5,66. Okay, let's see what we are given. Another part is to calculate the length of AC. Okay, so AC is this length that we have. So now we can separate, taking this triangle, since we now have a side, this one. So according to 40 degrees, this becomes your adjacent, because you are given 42 and 90 degrees. So this is the adjacent. And this AC that you want to calculate is the hypotenuse. So which ratio that uses adjacent and the hypotenuse at the same time? So adjacent and hypotenuse is for cos. So that's cos theta is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So this is now item 2 where we want to calculate AC. So now let's substitute. In place of theta, we have cos the angle that is inside the triangle, that is your theta, which is cos 42 degrees. So it's cos 42 degrees, which is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So the adjacent is the side that you just calculated, this one, of 5,66. So it's 5,66 over the hypotenuse, which is the side that you want to calculate. This is the hypotenuse, the side that you want to calculate, which is AC. Remember, we want to calculate the length of AC. So that's the part that we have. How can we calculate AC? In this case, we can actually cross multiply, which is going to be AC times 42, which is AC sine cos 42, which is equal to 1 times 5,66 is going to be 5,66 like this. So to find AC, we are going to divide by cos 42 degrees, divide by cos 42 degrees. These two can actually cancel each other. So that means AC is equal to, you have to divide now these two. 5,66 divided by cos 42, divide by cos 42. Make sure your calculator is in degrees here. So you're going to obtain this decimal, which is 67,61, which is 7,61 centimeters. Okay, so that's what we had applying the trigonometric ratios, or the trig ratios, given trigonometrical ratios there that we are supposed to use or to apply. Okay, on item C, we are given a part of circle geometry, where we are given in the diagram above A, B, and C are points on the circumference of a circle, center O. So this is center O like this. So the moment you are given a circle with center O, you are supposed to apply the laws or the theorems. Okay, write down an expression or in terms of y for the reflex AOC. Okay, so the reflex AOC, we are referring to the angle which is this one. That is the reflex AOC. Remember, a reflex angle is indicated like this. I just want you to see an indication of a reflex angle is like this. That's how you that's how a reflex angle occurs or appears like. And we know that angles at a point, they add up to 360 degrees, a complete revolution. So in this case, this reflex which is at this side is going to be 360 minus 3y, because we want an expression in terms of what? In terms of y. So which means reflex AOC, is it AOC? Yes, this is AOC. So take note, this is 3y, so it's going to be 360 minus 3y. So it's going to be 360 degrees minus 3y like this. So that is an expression. So you can factor out 3, or you can just leave it like that. So this is our C, item 1. Okay, item 2, we are now asked to find the value of y. Find the value of y. Okay, what can we do in this case to find the value of y? We have this part here that if this is an angle of from the angle of 4y plus 4 like that, the one that you are given there, we know that from the reflex angle, which is this angle on this side, this angle here, this is the angle that is at the center, and this is the angle at the circumference. This angle at the circumference is half of this angle that is at the center. So you can formulate an equation using this theorem to say that angle at the center is twice angle at the circumference, or the angle at the circumference is half angle at the center. So if this angle at the center, the one that we just obtained, which is the reflex, this one, 360 degrees minus 3y like this, is equal to twice the angle at the circumference, because it's twice. So twice, which means you're multiplying this by 2 so that they will be equal. So it's going to be 2 by 4y plus 4 like this. By just multiplying this by 2, you are saying these two are equal, so you can actually solve for y in this case. So how are you going to solve this? This is just same as 360. You can just leave this degree so that you solve properly. So it's 360 minus 3y, which is equal to 2 by 4. That is 8y, 2 by 4, which is 8. Then let's collect like terms together. So 8 to this side is going to be 360 minus 8, which is equal to 8y, minus 3 to this side is going to be plus 3. Collecting the terms, like terms together. So 360 minus 8, let's see, this is paper 2, so you can just use our calculator. 360 minus 8, which is going to give us 352. So 352 is equal to 8 plus 3, which is 11y like this. So which means y is equal to, you're going to divide by 11 to find the value of y. Divide by 11, we are going to obtain 32. So which means y in this case is equal to 32, which is 32 degrees. So that is what we had from this. So take note, guys. I want you to see something here. I don't want you to have a confusion here. This is what we had, something like this. I just want to take exactly what it looked like from this part. It was like this. Okay, someone might ask, why did we take this angle here? To say this is the angle at the center and this is the angle at the circumference. This angle here, if this angle is x, this is 2x. If this angle is x here, this is going to be, if this is x, this one is going to be 2x. So we are saying this angle at the circumference is twice this angle. So if this is 150, it's times 2. So this is the angle at the circumference, this is at the center. For this angle here, we are not going to relate these two because this angle is supposed to be something like this. For you to use this angle, it was supposed to be like this. When you are given an angle here and an angle, that's where you're going to apply these two in relationship, that this angle is twice this angle, not this one. This one is related to this other one, which is the reflex. So take note about that one, because there can be a confusion on this part. Why are we using this part instead of the other one? No, that is what you're supposed to use there. Okay. Then on question number 3, you're given that Tariro bought $7, that is $7 for 91.70 puller from a bank. Find the exchange rate in the form of $1 S to M puller in that case. Okay, so it's something like this to say it's 3.1 like this. So you're going to relate first the ratio which is there from the amount that is given. So $7 is the one that corresponds to this 9 puller. So you're just going to use 7 as to 91.70, which is just 91.7. So in order for you to find this in the form as 1 as 2, because these are the dollars in this case, we are referring to dollars, and these are the pullers. So you just divide by 7 by 7. So the moment you divide by 7, you are going to obtain $1 as to how many M pullers. In this case, we are going to divide. So this is paper 2, guys. Like I said, just divide, and as you can see, it's 1 mark also. So 91.7 divided by 7, which is going to give us 13.1. So we are going to obtain 13.10 puller in this case. This is what we are going to have for $1. It's equivalent to 13.10 puller. That is the given part that we are having there. Then the bank charged 1% commission for the transaction. Calculate the amount Tariro received. So a commission, guys, is something that you gain in return. Like you have done something, then you're going to be given that amount. So if the bank charged 1% commission from this amount, which means Tariro is going to receive from this, because this is what she bought. She bought $7 for 91, this is the amount that she is buying, $7. So which means the 1% is going to be 1% of the amount that she have now, which is $7. Okay, so what is going to be 1% of this amount? That is 0.2. So 1% means 1/100 multiplied by the amount which was in dollars, the one that she received, that she bought. She's no longer having pounds, she bought dollars now. So that is going to be 1/100 times 7. You can also use our calculator. 1/100 by 7, which is going to be 0.07. So that's very, very little commission. Okay, so it's going to be $0.07 as the commission. So now what is going to be the total amount received? Because if this is a commission that she received, then we are going to add to the money that she had, which is what? Which is $7. So if we add $7, the total amount is going to be $7.07. This is the amount that she received in dollars as from the commission, because take note, she bought, this is what she bought. So she is now having US dollars instead of the puller that she was using. She is now having US dollars like that. Then let's see B. In a sale, the original price of a suit is reduced by 16% to $210. calculate the original price of the suit before the sale. Okay, this is a sale that you are given. This is 16%, which is to say the original price, like in a sale, the original price of it was reduced by 16%, which means when it was at 100%, we do not know the amount when it was at 100%. But when reduced by 16%, remember I said to reduce, you have to subtract. So just like the previous part, let's subtract 100. It is reduced by 16, which is now at 84%. So at 84%, that's where this suit is costing this amount of $210 at 84%, because it is reduced by 16. So what is going to be the original amount? The original amount is the one that occurs at 100%. So it's going to be 100% over 84 like this, multiplied by 210, which is now the actual price. Is that so? 100 over 84 like this, multiplied by the original price, which is 210. So we are going to obtain 250 in this case. So this is the part that you are going to obtain. So take note about this part, guys, that the amount is 250. Yes, 250, not 210. $250. Take note, it is reduced by 16%. So you just subtract, which is 84. So you are going to take this part that we had of 64. Then you subtract from 100, which is going to be 84, such that when you find 16%, let's just do this to prove this. 16% of the amount, 16 over 100 multiplied by the amount, the original price now, which is 250. What do we obtain? We obtain $40. Then we subtract this from 250 minus the answer that we had. We are going to obtain 210. Sorry. So as you can see, we are going to obtain 210. So this is going to be the price of the suit from this price. So you can just use this part direct. Okay, we are given William invested P dollars at a rate of 3% per annum simple interest. After 5 years, he got $2,010 simple interest. Calculate the value of P, which is the simple interest, which is the principal in this case. Okay, if he got the simple interest in this case, we remember that the simple interest is given by PRT over 100 like this. So in this case, the simple interest is already the one that he obtained. He got 2010 simple interest, not the whole amount, but just the simple interest. So it's going to be 2010 is equal to P, which is the one that we want to calculate, times the rate at which this amount is increasing. So it's increasing at 3%. So it's 3 multiplied by the time that it took, which is 5 years. Okay, so it's going to be 5 by 5 over 100. So the percentage is already removed by this 100. So there's no need for you to simplify that. Okay, so you can cross multiply this, and this is going to be 2010 by 100, which is going to be 5 by 3, which is 15p. So to find p, we are going to multiply this and then divide by 15 by 15. So which means the principal amount, the one that he invested into the bank, is 2010 multiplied by 100. So if you multiply by 100, you are going to obtain this answer. Then you divide by 15. So which is 13,400. So we have 13,400, which is the amount that he invested in order to obtain a simple interest, or an interest of what? Of $2010 from the simple interest. That is what we were given in this case. Then John invested 600. This is $600 for 3 years, which is being at 4% per annum compound interest. Calculate the total amount received after 3 years. Okay, so if this is compound interest, we shall have our amount like this. The amount is going to be P into 1 plus the interest rate to the exponent of n, which is the number of years. So that is going to be the amount after time, the period, the principal, the amount that was invested, which is 600, the one that was invested, into 1 plus the interest rate. So the interest rate in this case is 4%, but this one as a decimal is going to be 4 over 100, or you can just write it as a decimal, to the exponent of n, which is to the power of n, which is the number of years, which is 3 years. Okay, so this is what you're going to have at the end. That is for compound interest. So you can simplify this part, which is 600 plus this is 4 over 100 is same as 0,0412, yes, plus 1, which is going to be 1,04 like this, to the exponent of 3. So you'll be having the calculator in exam, so you can just use this calculator. That's 600 multiply by you open bracket, that is 1,04 to the exponent 1,04 to the exponent of 3, like this. This is what you're going to have, which is 674, but this is amount, so it's going to be 928 is going to change this 1 into 2, so it's going to be 674,92. That is going to be 0.92. Okay, so you just cross check there. If there can be any part that is mistaken along the way or along the process, you just cross check and see, talk about it, so that we can actually refer to that question back. Express as a single fraction. Okay, so in this case we just need to write this 3 over 1 minus x plus 2 over x minus 1 like this. So definitely here we just need the LCM, which is x minus 1. So it's x minus 1 divided by 1, which is same as x minus 1 but times 3. So it's going to be 3 into x minus 1 minus x minus 1 and x minus 1, that is 1, times, take note, is going to multiply x plus 2. So you open a bracket like this. So let's simplify. 3 times x, that is 3x, 3 times minus 1, that's minus 3, minus 1 times x, which is minus x, minus 1 times positive 2, which is negative 2. Take note about that, negative is going to affect every term. So let's collect like terms. This is same as 1, so it's 3 minus 1, which is 2. So we are going to have 2x minus 3 minus 2, which is minus 5 over x minus 1. So as you can see, there's nothing that we can do now to simplify this part. So it's the simplest form that we can ever get in this format. Okay, then we are given two functions here, f of x, which is x squared plus 3x minus 8, gx, hx. Find the values of x for which f of x is equal to gx. Okay, so this consideration is that when these two are equal, this is f of x. F of x is this part, which is x squared plus 3x minus 8. What are the values of x when it is equal to gx? And this is our gx, which is equal to 3x plus 1. So you're actually supposed to equate the two. So as you can see, this is now a quadratic equation where I can solve. So you can take these terms to one side of the equation, which is x squared plus 3x. This is going to be minus 3x minus 9 minus 8 minus 1. This one is going to be negative 1, which is negative 9. 3 and 3 cancels each other, which is going to be, we are going to be left with x squared minus 9 is equal to 0 like this. So this is difference of two squares, where we have x minus 3, x plus 3 from the square root of what? Square root of x squared is x, square root of 9 is 3. So each bracket is equal to 0. So therefore x is equal to minus 3 to the side is going to be positive 3, or x is going to be plus 3 to the side is going to be negative 3 to the right hand side. So these are the possible values of x that we can have if f of x is equal to what? Is equal to gx. So that is what we were given in this platform. Then the other question is to find the values of x where hx, sorry, let's try to adjust this side. We want the values of x for which hx is equal to 0,25. Okay, So it's another equation again that you need to solve this one when hx is equal to 0.25. So how can we actually solve this equation? How can we simplify this part? Let's solve. So we're going to replace again. This is our hx. This time our hx is 2 to the exponent of x, or 2 to the power of x. That's your hx. So you're going to substitute that hx here. 2 to the power of x is equal to 0.25. So how can you solve this equation? As you can see, it's very difficult for you to solve because there's a decimal. So let's convert this decimal into a fraction. 0.25 is same as 25, which is this whole number, over, we have our main decimal place is 1, 2. So it's going to be over 100 from converting a fraction. Remember this part. So 25 into 25, that's 1 over 25 into 100, which is 4. Still, in this case, we have something like this, 2 to the exponent of x, which is now 1 over 4. But still, these two cannot be related because this is 2 to the exponent. This is a fraction. So how can we rewrite this in terms of a number and an exponent like 2, like this? So remember, from our laws of exponents, 1 over a number is to the exponent of a negative 1. So 1 over 4, 4 to the exponent of negative 1. Then now we can at least use the idea of these bases to be equal. So 4 in base of 2 is going to be 2 to the exponent, or to the power of 2. But there is already this minus 1 that we are having. So 2 times minus 1, that's minus 2. So it's going to be 2 to the exponent of minus 2, like this. So the bases are the same. Therefore, x is equal to minus 2. We know that when the bases are the same, the exponents are also the same at that moment. Okay, so that's what we had. Given that formula or equation, express x in terms of a, b, and d. Okay, and that is 3 marks for this, guys. Okay, 3 marks for that. I hope it's clear. Ax, that is the square root there. So let's see how we are supposed to simplify this. We have the square root of ax plus b, which is equal to d, like this. And we want to express x in terms of whatever that we are given. So it means it is actually making x the subject of the formula. So how can we make x the subject of the formula in this case? Take note of the equation. There's a square root there. So in order for you to remove this square root, you are going to raise this to the exponent of 2, everything to the exponent of 2, like this. The moment you raise this to the exponent of 2, you have actually get rid of the square root. So which means you are going to remain with this part under the square root, which is ax plus b, which is equal to d squared. So from this stage, how can I make x to be the subject? What are the terms? What is affecting x? If we are to cross-check, b can be transposed to the right hand side, which is going to be negative b. So it's ax, which is equal to d squared minus b, like this. Okay, what is affecting x now at this stage? It's a, which is multiplying, and this a is multiplying, so you can divide by a both sides. But the moment you divide here, you divide every term. So it's going to be x is equal to d squared minus b over a. So in this case, we have made x to be the subject, or you have written x in terms of a, b, and d. That is to make x the subject of the formula. Okay, so that's what we had for the first part of this question paper. The other part that we shall focus on will be on construction part. So not to miss this class, guys, make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that whenever we are going to work on these questions, you'll be part of the class and so forth. So we shall work on this as our second part. So make sure that we just revise along the questions, and this is the question that we are actually going to have as a continuation, so you can actually at least try to work on it, so that the time we just focus on this, you'll be having a know-how of what is happening in this case. So these are the questions that we are given that we shall proceed on. So it's good to revise in time, so that when we work these questions together, you'll be having an idea of what is happening actually. So please, let's revise much questions from question papers and so forth. This is going to help us also in preparations for the exams which are ahead of time. So that's it, guys, from Maison African Motives. Till we meet again.